Hello there! Today I am here with Artimus, who is usually behind the camera, and we're going to be reacting to our older videos.
Alright, so which videos are we watching here? Storytime Men's Jewelry. That was, what, 2 years ago?
Yes, this was our first video, and I remember this because you were trying to get me comfortable in front of the camera, which was not, I'm going to tell you, it wasn't easy. And you were trying to get me to do an interview. You wanted me to sit down and do an interview video, and I was really uncomfortable with it. And I said, why don't I just turn to the camera and talk to the camera?
I was surprised because you said, well, just turn it on. I'll just try to do that YouTube thing. I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So
yeah,
I turned it on.
how'd you think it was going to go?
I thought it was going to be a nightmare.
Yeah,
not because you're bad, just because most people, when it's their first time talking in front of a camera, they don't know what to do, but you just went right for it. So
for me, it was easier talking in front of the camera, just talking and looking at the camera, than it was sort of doing the interview thing, and I'm not sure why that was. You know, even though I did a pretty good job, I think, of this for not prepping, or, I mean, I just came up with this story and told the story, but there are a lot of examples of me being very uncomfortable.
I'm going to warn you, I've done this a few times with people before, and it's very cringy to watch older videos, so
yeah.
Just be prepared.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, which you already know from the title of this video. There is no such thing as men's jewelry. It's all a farce. It's all a lie, and I'm going to tell you all about it.
I think I'm a little more relaxed in this video than I was in later videos because we weren't really doing it. It was just a practice. It's later when when we have a point that we're trying to make, and especially if anything is scripted in any way, I kind of fall apart with that. And I've gotten a little bit better, but I was not good at all at that time of saying, okay, we want to hit these 4 points. I wasn't good at that. But this was just me just telling a story, and so that was easier than some of the later things.
And that's why that's always a good place to start, because then you're just really telling it as if you're telling it to someone else, and I think that's one of the notes we tried to do, is just act like you're telling someone this story.
Right, which I was just telling you, sort of the camera, the other story. A lot of people, I think, YouTube, it's called social media, and it sort of feels social, and I know when I watch other YouTubers, I feel a connection with them, and I feel like they're talking right to me. But in reality, you're sitting pretty much by yourself talking to a camera. And I don't know about other people. I am imagining the other people, but it is still different.
It's funny, I can tell in the back there, you have that backlight that we like to use. That one's on. It's just the key light's off.
Right.
And I can tell that the exposure's going, there it is
It
again,
goes
going up and down.
Whoops.
Because I was trying to compensate.
Oh my goodness, that was... See, but in this one, when I'm saying the end, doing this end thing, you can tell how uncomfortable I am. And that's because, oh, look at the one on the right. Who is that? Woo! I'm nervous.
That's one of the first times where you have to start actually saying, okay, instead of just telling a story, you have to actually say something. So naturally, it took a while to get used to, and that's okay. Nobody is great at it the first time they do it. So that wasn't too bad.
That wasn't so bad.
It's too bad. What do we got next here? Ooh, this is one of your first. Like super popular videos, and I'm just gonna call it right now. I think it's the cowboy hat in the thumbnail.
Yes,
it's got to be.
Yes, I think it is. This is the one video I get the most negative comments on. The most recent comment was, you might want to do your research before you say men can't wear heels. Men have been wearing heels. So my response was, speaking of research, you may want to watch a video before you comment on it.
So one of the first things we talked about is if you're going to do YouTube, you better learn how to troll back. It's half the game. And this one was great because it was a conversation that you talk about a lot, which is, like you were saying, everybody can wear anything, everyone can do everything. And in telling the story, one of the things we figured out was, all right, well, why don't we just go with this? Like, why don't we just say, all right, men can't wear heels. People watch the video and they learn that what you're actually saying is that not only can they, but they have worn heels, and it just sort of changed the dichotomy of the definition.
Right, because I felt like if I stood there and said, listen, men can wear heels, that it was, I don't know, like it would be a harder argument to make than just trying to defend the defenseless, that they can't.
Or you're talking to people that really already sort of agree with you, but this sort of hit both bases, where you've got both people coming together and actually start a conversation about it. Now this one I can tell we're getting a little bit better. We're still shooting in 24 frames per second, so it's got a softer, sort of more filmy look. We hadn't quite switched to 30, which was a super jump for us. For those of you that don't know, all that means is it just makes her look like she's moving quicker and it makes them look more live.
What he was trying to say is I wasn't animated enough, so he was trying to help me out.
I tried to help you out with the frame rate.
Everyone knows men can't wear heels. I mean, their feet are totally different than ours. I mean, how many toes do they even have anyway?
That's good. How many toes do they even have? Great cold open.
Right.
I find this notion that men can't wear heels so funny.
That doesn't even sound like me. I'm so nervous that it doesn't really even sound like me.
Right.
And other people have told me, "Oh, you don't look nervous," and I think they're just being kind. There's the
There's
cowboy
the hat.
hat. I was comfortable in the hat. Did you notice that? I was relaxed.
Well, I said, it'd be great if we had a cowboy hat. She just goes, I have a cowboy hat.
If we had a cowboy hat, what are you talking about?
Boots. Those are construction boots. They're not heels. Mm-mm.
That's the one where we had to retake it
heels.
because you kept
They're boots
laughing.
with heels.
That's my favorite line.
He kept laughing, and I was like,
Seriously? Because I knew we were going to put pictures of boots next to it, and it's
Right.
like... And it was great. It was just like an academic paper. Here's my ridiculous premise, and here's just a bunch of examples.
Men can't wear a real heel. They can't wear a stiletto. I have but one word for you, my friends. Prince.
Prince is the answer to everything. Like, if you think
one
it can't
word.
be done,
Looking back on it, there's some other jokes we could have done. Like, I have one symbol for you.
right. So he was absolutely the best at just doing whatever he wanted to do. No, he did not care, and nobody. I don't remember anybody complaining.
And the philosophy we have, and that I always have with videos, is like super intense editing. So even though I know that in the early days, like some of the videos that never saw the light of day, I can already tell that you're starting to get more comfortable with making videos. All right, so that was good. Now for a video I'm excited for, your bloopers video, the first one we did of you.
It took a lot of work to shoot these bloopers because, we had to come up with all of the
I didn't have that many to work from. I've got terabytes, whole terabytes of footage. Here we go. What do we got here?
Okay. Now, what did we want to do?
That's the story.
Here we go.
Like that's after talking all about it. That's me getting myself relaxed, like because I would have to, I would always be too
the
stiff,
dances,
and so
the dance numbers I've seen.
I still do that. It's like I don't know what that is.
So do you want me to do this one in a cowboy hat, just for fun?
Oh. Yeah, okay, yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Since you're jumping up already.
Thursday, and I almost said I expect you to subscribe. I expect you to.
I still do, by the way.
I do expect you to subscribe. Put a lot of work into these.
Right.
Online at jillmaurer.com. What did we say I was going to add? Oh yeah, I was going to wait to go away.
See, that's where we needed me to say a specific thing, and I can't. For some reason, I just can't do that. I can ramble, but
I'm not doing the doorbell.
The doorbell.
I know. We always everything is calm and fine all week, and then we sit down to shoot, and it's the doorbell, it's the
postman right here.
helicopter, the postman.
We've got one helicopter that just flies over us the second.
Oh,
it's
I
like
don't
they're
know.
at the tower. Hey, did they start filming it?
Right.
Yeah? Okay, I'm coming in.
Right,
The
I know,
Blue
it's
Angels
so
decide to
great.
practice.
Right. I will point out that there were 3 blooper videos, probably within the first 6 months of our existence, and you don't see them anymore. Why is that, Artimus?
Oh, gee, I don't know.
I've gotten a lot better. Admit it.
I just haven't gotten around to it. My computer crashed by all the files that I have. It's interesting to see how the lighting changes day to day.
See, I'm crying there. The other thing is sometimes I would just start crying in some of these videos, and we'd have to stop, and then that was me.
I was off screen like, she doesn't know we're on right now.
You would ask me a question.
And you were thinking.
Hard.
When it comes to
Obviously.
design, and the design that you don't see, and oftentimes a helicopter.
Thumbnail recording.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. We would have to stop and take thumbnails because he says that I don't smile, that I'm I always have a resting bitch face. So this is one of the things we have to work on is me talking and smiling and looking happy. I am happy, but apparently I have to work at looking happy.
Just gotta bring out your inner happiness.
Yeah.
Well, those are great.
Yeah. So we have come a long way. I mean, I say we. You always knew what you were doing, except for that one lighting
it
issue.
changes. I've done a lot of projects before, but this was my first official vlog commentary channel. So there's you learning how to be comfortable in front of camera, and then there's me trying to learn what your thought process is. If you run out of ideas, to help just sort of fill them in. If you don't know how to say something, but I sort of get what you're trying to say, just jump in and suggest a different word. So it goes 2 ways. I had to learn how to shoot this channel as much as you had to learn learn how to act in it.
I also understand the editing better now, and the more that we can do it right up front as opposed to having him have to edit, the better. So for example, I know that if I'm going along and I don't say something right, I can just pause.
Because
He can make it go away. So it's nice to see where we were and how far we've really come. And also to know where we're going, because we have some pretty big plans for next year.
Real big. Channel's gonna blow up. Can I do the outro this time?
Okay.
I've never done the outro
You
before
do the
here.
outro.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, so you can be sure to see us again. Bye for now.
Pretty good.
Did I nail it? I think that was 10 out of 10.